All right, now, give me everything you've got, you people.
Speed, 957.
Places, everybody. This is a take. Where is that? Right. Camera. Action. Action. Go.
You know, are you rolling?
We're rolling.
We're rolling now because this is very important. We have to get this right for Peter Bart. I mean, otherwise, I don't know what's going to happen. You know the kind of guy he is, right? I mean, he's really, whoa, my God. Take you apart in a minute. You know, he's like really very volatile. He was very pleasant to you in the hallway, but did you see the way he looked at me? I mean, it was like, it was a long walk from the street to this room, you know, and, he lets you know it too. He's very powerful. Okay, so what were you going to say?
Well, I'd been a reporter at the New York Times for about 8 years, and one of my closest friends was Bob Evans. And one day Bob Evans was anointed as the studio chief for Paramount, a job for which he admittedly was completely unprepared. And he turned to me and said, look, you're my closest friend, you're as unprepared as I am, so let's do it together. And we were lucky as hell, because at that moment in time, there were extraordinary new filmmakers who were waiting to break into this Hollywood club. It was the moment of the Coppolas and the Lucases and the Ashbys and the Spielbergs and on and on. So here we were new and they were new, and it was a great lucky moment to arrive at that time in Hollywood.
In the 70s, when the two of them ran the studio, it was notoriously the best studio, the most quality films, the biggest hits, and they saved Paramount.
You were in the middle of the creative Camelot with Paramount. I mean, you lived years that we envy you for, because you were in the middle of some of the greatest decisions ever made in Hollywood.
They were a great team. I feared you as a competitor, both of you.
You should have.
I just said I did.
Good.
I think probably the biggest risk he took was making The Godfather, hiring Francis Coppola, who at the time was not a very well-known film director, hiring Marlon Brando to star in it, hiring Al Pacino to star in it. So he took a lot of chances.
I mean, he was not afraid to tackle literary classics, not afraid to take pulp novels like The Godfather and turn them into masterpiece movies. I mean, this is the guy who facilitated the greatest movie of all time.
I think Peter has exquisite taste. I think he knows it when it's on the screen. He knows it as a writer. He knows it as a reporter.
You know, I think the fact that Peter's so intelligent and the kind of projects that he gravitated towards, made us all look good who are in this business. They're all, top flight films that won Academy Awards and intrigued audiences, not only for their entertainment value, but for their intelligence.
When you do have that hit, it doesn't mean you're a genius. And when you have the flop, well, it's clearly somebody else's fault. Paranoia drives our circulation, that the top people, all people in the media and entertainment business, feel that unless they pick up tomorrow morning's Variety, they may miss the fact that A, they've been fired, B, their company has been sold, or C, the whole business has been totally changed overnight, and they didn't know about it.
I remember one time when I was running Paramount, and he called and he asked me if something was true. And I said, no, I don't think so. And he said, well, you better check on it. And I checked on it, and it was true. So Peter Bart actually knew the information before I did.
He's kind of the William Randolph Hearst of our business. And literally, not only is he that, but completely the gatekeeper of all information, all factual information in Hollywood.
Variety was a sort of
dumpy, rumpled newsprint publication. I mean, I'll never forget the story Peter tells me about when he showed up. Right after lunch, he heard this thump because everybody's heads would hit would literally hit their desks because they'd been out drinking at lunch.
What he's done with Variety, I think, is really quite extraordinary. He's made it from an okay read to a must read, and I think he's done that in both the weekly and daily Variety.
Being able to have the perspective of doing it, writing about it, and talking about it, having all three makes you unique. Certainly, he has great perspective with the film business. He's been on every side of the table and underneath it too.
Well, I think, Variety has had many impacts on the American culture. There's the varieties, which is sort of these, mixed up showbiz, lingo kind of words, box office flop, all that kind of stuff that have become idiomatic and part of the American speech.
Zing, ding, bing, ving, fling, ching, bing, ming, ding, mom, bop, wop, top. You have to figure out what the hell they're talking about.
I like writing. Yeah, if you like something, it's not hard to do. Things get out of control now and then, but I love what I do, and I'm very gratified and privileged to be doing it for such a long period of time. What I love about the entertainment business and about journalism is that it provides you with a lot to laugh about, as well as a lot to write about. Just don't take it all too seriously. This too shall pass. That's in today's paper. Tomorrow, the whole perspective may change.
I remember getting a review so bad that I literally got a cold sore on my lip while I was reading it.
I don't know if he targeted me, but some asshole at Variety wrote some article just the other day that I thought was completely inappropriate. So I don't know if it came from him, but obviously he gives free rein to the people who write for his paper to say mean things about someone who then does him a favor and goes on camera with a tribute. Thanks.
Personally, one of my favorite things to read each week are Peter's columns. I have unfortunately been the subject of a handful of them over the years. Mostly that's always been bad news. But the thing about it is that, unfortunately he's right.
Each word, is like rapier, it's got the quality, of a knife thrust and also the accuracy and beauty of the language. So for me, Peter is the master at making sense of this jumbled world.
For myself, every morning I open the pages of Variety, and if there is no memo to Tom Rothman from Peter Bart, then I know I've at least survived one more day.
When you've been involved in the creative process, and then you move back to journalism, as I did, to being a newsman, you realize how easy it is to fail, and you empathize more.
Everybody likes Peter because everybody gets a fair shake from Peter. And he tells you what he thinks. Sometimes it's not happy news, but he does say what he thinks, and he has integrity.
He's a free agent. He's a free thinker. He's fair. Fair, one of the nicest words in the business.
Peter Bart is a closet liberal who prefers to be known as a conservative curmudgeon. He is someone who pretends to be a cynic, but he's a sentimentalist who is fatally drawn to the good, the true, and the beautiful.
For me, Peter really does represent the movie industry, but he represents everything that's good about the movie industry.
His greatest contribution to the industry as a whole is Variety, and it will live on forever and ever.
It's a responsibility that I take very seriously, running a newspaper, especially a respected newspaper. And when we make a mistake at Variety, it is imitated, replicated, repeated, all through all of the bloodstream of the media business and blogdom. And, we do have a responsibility to be fair and to get it right.
As far as the Bible of show business, yes, I do read Variety. Well, I don't read it, I look at the pictures. Well, I don't look at the pictures, but someone describes the pictures to me over the phone. Not the phone, in an email. All right, I don't have email. I've seen Variety on the newsstand, and I like Peter, and that's really all that matters.